So in our last class, we had started on related parties, and there is a question. There's a question which I gave you. I forwarded you a certain small question there. I don't know whether everyone has. So let me ask Joy. Joy, repost in case maybe there is someone who joined class after our last class, so that everyone can have that question. Just repost right now so that we can be on the same page, kindly. So Joy, do the repost of that small question on related parties. Thank you, Joy. I can see you have posted it. That is okay. So for those people who are not there in our previous class, there is that small question there, which we were supposed to check in regards to related parties. So you'd allow me to read the question. It says, just a minute, so who is that? Done, good. A Limited is a subsidiary company to C Limited. The directors of A Limited is Mr. Matthew, Mr. Mark, and Mr. Luke. So Matthew, Mark, and Luke are the directors of A Limited. And A Limited is a subsidiary of C. Okay. State and explain whether each of the following is a related party to A Limited. So in each of the scenarios, we are supposed to check if they are related to A Limited. So A is the main subject here. So one, T Limited, a company in which Mr. Matthew is a director. Two, Peter, who owns 20% of shares in A Limited. Jonah, a financial controller of A Limited. And finally, but they've said Jonah is not a director. So Jonah is a financial controller, but he's not a director. Then finally, Jane, the wife of Isaiah. Isaiah is the chairman of Q Limited, a subsidiary company of C Limited. So in each case, you analyze them independently. In each case, you check whether there is a relationship or are they related parties with A Limited. A Limited is the subject. So we kick off with T Limited. So T Limited, a company in which Mr. Matthew is a director. So in this case, I will also require you tell me your view. Do you think they are related? Then we try to analyze, then we move forward. So the answers will come from your side first, then we analyze. So your answers will just be yes or no. So is T Limited related to A? Remember T, they have said T, Mr. Matthew is a director. And who is Mr. Matthew? Mr. Matthew is also a director in A Limited. So is T and A related parties? Mwende says no, Vera says no, everyone is saying no. I also say no. Because, okay, let's have this structure. So write their solution. Write their solution. So solution from an 1 if we do that analysis, and that analysis is actually, that's how you should answer the question. You answer the question by coming up with that analysis. So you come here and say, Mr. Matthew, who is Mr. Matthew? Mr. Matthew is a director in A Limited, and also Mr. Matthew is a director in T Limited. So the examiner is asking whether A Limited is related to T Limited. Everyone there says no, and I also justify by saying no. So you say here, T Limited is not a related party. It's not a related party to A Limited. You can have semicolon, then continuation. Two entities are not considered to be related simply because they share a director, stock manager in common. Correct. So, Brian being a director in company A, Brian a director in company B, if A and B transacts, msianze kuongea vibaya tio, hawa wanafanyanga biashara because Brian ana influence, hapana. Okay, hiyo ni kwa ground ni tofauti. But now when we come to the standard, and even the legal aspect, part of it, entities are normally considered to be artificial beings. They can contract, can be sued in their own name. And therefore, we assume that a director is just a representative. Like you might, let's take this scenario. In A, Matthew is not even alone. They are with Luke, Mark, they are the directors. So if A transacts with T, you cannot say that Matthew is influencing everything here. Lakini kwa ground unajua what normally goes. Thank you. Let's go to Roman 2 of the question. Let's go to Roman 2 of the question. So I wish to delete this. I want to delete that one. Then we go to Roman 2. So Roman 2 says, and I read. Roman 2 says, and I read. Peter, who owns 20% of shares in A Limited. So is Peter related to A? Just waiting for your answers. I said the answer comes from you, then we try to analyze. Is Peter, Munde says yes, Vera says yes. So allow me, Jacinta, maybe you tell me, why do you think, just short, so see, explain further. Why do you think Peter, because you have said yes, Jacinta, why do you think Peter is related to A Limited? what has made you to say yes? Or what should be our justification? Okay, yes, Peter is related. I also agree. Peter is related to A Limited. But why do you think Peter is related? Jacinta, maybe you tell us something short there. Professor umechelewa, but we are solving that question which I left last time. And this is the first solution. So you can even take a screenshot. Ama uandike mbio mbio. There is that small question that has been shared in the group. Professor. So Vera ni kama umeandika mbele yako, but Mercy has also answered. So Vera says, significant influence. Mercy, yeah, all those which you are saying are okay. Is okay. So the 20% shareholding justifies or makes Peter to have what we call significant influence. What is significant influence? Significant influence is the power to participate in financial and operating policies of an entity. So when people are voting, you can carry up your hand. So by the virtue of Peter having significant influence in that company, Peter can make some, he can influence some decisions, and therefore Peter is considered to be a related party. And any transaction Peter does with that company must be disclosed. So let's have that analysis. So Professor, I hope you have taken the screenshot for that. So we are going to that solution 2. Right there, 2. Or even I can do it here. So for Roman 2, you say here, Peter, 20% shareholdings in A Limited. That's how the structure should look. 20% in A Limited. So you write and say, Peter is a related party. Peter is a related party. Peter is a related party to A Limited. Is a related party to A Limited since he exercises significant influence. He exercises significant influence. Full stop. We are going to Roman 3. We are now going to Roman 3. So Roman number 3, I read. Please be ready with your answers of yes or no. And someone to be ready with the defense to justify. And I read, Jonah is a financial controller of A Limited. Jonah is not a director of A. So what do you think? Is Jonah related to A or not? If yes, why? If no, why? Is Jonah a related party to A? He's a financial controller, but not a director. Mwende, yes. So anybody can start defending? Or you still give me the yes, yes, no answers? Mwende says yes. Anyone else? Someone else with yes or no? Yes, yes, yes. No one says no. Someone to give me justification. Brief, the way you did the other one. Just a brief justification. I also accept. Jonah is a related party to A. I accept, yes, he is. So Justification. Jacinta, yes, he's an employee to the company. So, yeah, Jacinta, you are getting it right, but kuna a small aspect unafaa weke. Mwende says key management, yes. So, Jacinta, yes, is an employee, but no employees, you can just be an employee, but you can also be a key management personnel. So for you to be a related party, you must be a key management personnel. I'm sorry to say this, but the truth, cashier, if you compare cashier and financial controller, cashier is equal key management personnel. Lakini kwa kampuni zingine unapata cashier ndio anatumika kama hata yeye ndio overall, ana control mpaka accountant na motionnaire, ndio. So cashier cannot be a key management personnel, but financial controller, there is no financial decision in a company which can be made without financial controller being there. So, Jessica, I hope you have understood. Yes, she's an employee, but you must go by an extension. Useme is a key management personnel. That is what makes it to be related party. So you can have there Roman 3. You say Jonah, financial controller is the FC, financial controller in A Limited, but it's not a director. So Jonah is the financial controller. So you write, good, right there, say, Jonah is a related party to A Limited. Jonah is a related party to A Limited. Full stop. Full stop. So by extension, you say, he is a key management personnel. He is a key management personnel. He's a key management personnel. Correct. Last, not least. Last but not least, Jane, the wife of Isaiah. Isaiah is the chairman of Q Limited, a subsidiary company of C Limited. In Refu. So who are they looking for? They are checking whether who is related to A, because there's a lot of story. Who are they? Who is the protagonist? Yes. Who is the main character? Who are they looking for in relation to A Limited? Kuna Jane, the wife of Isaiah. Isaiah is the chairman of Q. Q is a subsidiary of A. So, who is, yes, correct. They are, where did you have to say the wife? Sawa, the wife, Jane. So they are checking whether Jane is a related party to A Limited. Let's try to come up with the structure first, then we can check. So that is the last one, Roman 4. Jane, the wife of Isaiah. Isaiah is the chairman. Isaiah is the chairman of Q Limited. And who is Q Limited? Q Limited is a subsidiary of C Limited. The subsidiary of C Limited. Bas. Hiyo safari ni kali, sijui niwaulize ama tuchambue. Ama someone just want to say, if you want to say you can, before we start explanation. A is not even here, but you can see. That is the structure. Jane is the wife of Isaiah. Isaiah is the chairman of Q. Q is a subsidiary of C. So is Jane related to A? Is there someone who wants to throw up an answer? Jacinta says no. One more, then we can start the analysis. Even Kragu says no. So let's check out. Jane, the wife of Isaiah. Isaiah is the chairman of Q. Q is a subsidiary of C. This C, where it is coming from? Who, not who. What is C in this whole scenario? Just go back up there and ask me again. What is C? Because C is appearing here now for the first time, but it must be somewhere. How was C coming in the picture in the entire question? Let's go back there. How is C coming up in the picture? Yes, C is a subsidiary of, no, A Limited is a subsidiary company to C. So C is the parent. If you check keenly, C is the parent of A. A was the subsidiary. So what connects C and A is that A being here is a subsidiary. Is a subsidiary to C. So ongeza hiyo hapo. That is what is going to make A to come into the picture. So A Limited is a subsidiary of C. So this one we want to do bottom up, right? We want to come from down here, whether this is related to this, whether this is related to this, kipanda hivyo juu. So question 1, is A related to C? The answer is yes. Answer is yes, because C being the parent of A, that is an automatic. Provided you are a subsidiary, associate, or a joint venture of a certain company, you and that company, you are related parties. So A and C are related because C is the parent company to A. Those ones are related without any question. Is C related to Q? If C and Q are related, then Q will also be related to A, because the defense will be they're in the same group. All the entities in the same group are considered to be related parties. Check like Royal Media. Those doing Watch FM, which radios doing all those things. All those entities are related parties. They are related parties. And even if you are keen, when you log into this vernacular channel of Citizen, you see what is happening in Citizen and this vernacular and the other one, you will find they are almost what they are doing is the same. What they do is the same. Like during elections, watu wanatoka kwa hii channel wakienda. So ukitoka kwa Citizen, ile kitu wanapeana, uende kwa hiyo yao ingine ya vernacular na huko, utapata wanapeana the same thing, because they are related parties and they are regulated by the parent company. So you being in the same group, you are related parties. So I'm not even going to waste time. Q and A are related parties because they are members of the same group. And any company or anybody, related to Q will also be related to C and A. So let's assess Isaiah. If we find out that Isaiah is related to Q, then it means Isaiah will also be related to these other companies. So Isaiah being the chairman of Q, believe you me, Isaiah is a related party to Q. Chairman is not a regular employee, but chairman is considered to be a key management personnel. Most decisions are made in the presence of the chairman. So Isaiah being the chairman of Q means he's related to Q. And therefore, Isaiah is also a related party to these other entities. Because when nani tunatuma kwa group to make decisions, because Q is a subsidiary of C, who are the people who will sit when we say full board? Nani tuporatuma in Isaiah. So Isaiah is also related to C and A. Q became related to A because they are part of the group members. And therefore, anybody or any company related to Q will also be related to these two. So Isaiah is a related party to A. Jane is coming in. Jane now is the last. in case we find out that Jane is a related party to Isaiah, then it is automatic. Jane will be related to all the entities to which Isaiah is a related party to. So far we have confirmed Isaiah is related to A. So if we find out that Jane is related to Isaiah, then it means Jane is also a related party to A. So the people who gave me the answers, all of them said no. Yes, they were correct. However, I want to make it clear. Number one, from literal view, Jane is a related party to A because Jane is a close family member. Any close family member is also related to the companies to which you are related to. But when answering that question in exam, you give them in 2 tiers. You must have a yes and a no answer at the same time. So from the view, yes, Jane is a related party to A. Lakini lazima weke the word however. However, if Jane is not capable of influencing Isaiah's decisions or dealings with the companies, then Jane is not a related party. So for family members, you have to give the yes and the no answer at the same time. So here, the automatic answer is yes, because she is a close family member. But we don't know. Maybe Jane is not capable of influencing Isaiah. For example, it can be proven. It can be proven in court or otherwise that Jane is staying in the United Kingdom and she has been there for the last 30 years. After their wedding with Isaiah on Saturday, Jane went to United Kingdom on Monday and she has been there for the last 30 years. There has been any correspondence in any way. It cannot even be proven with Isaiah. Then Jane in UK, Jane alifungua kampuni fulani inaitwa Jane Group without even Isaiah knowing. Then Jane Group secured a tender in Kenya in A Limited. They got a tender in A Limited. Then the members of the public wanaanza kusema alipata hiyo tender because she's the wife of Isaiah. Now you see Isaiah is a related party to A. No, if it can be proven that Jane and Isaiah, mnajua we are grown ups, kuna watu wamewana hata waongeleshana. If she cannot influence Isaiah's decisions or dealings with the entities, then they are not related parties. So for close family members, you must justify. And allow me to tell you this in a structured way. Who are close family members? They are close. Your cousins are not close family members. Close family members, are they 3 or 4? I think the 4. 1, your spouse. Your spouse. 2, your children. Your spouse, your children. Yeah, there are 3. Your spouse, your children, and the children of your spouse. Yeah, we go for those 3. Those are the close family members. Your spouse, your children, and the children of your spouse. Those are the close family members which we allow in the standard. So when you are giving, if the answer was no from the word go, then you don't defend. You don't put the however. But if the answer is yes, you have to defend by saying, however, if that tuandike. So Kirago, I hope you have understood my explanation. So I hope you came up with the structure. So we can explain and say, Jane is a related party. Jane is a related party to A Limited. Jane is a related party to A Limited. Since she's a close family member. She's a close family member to Isaiah. Close family member to Isaiah, who is also related party to A Limited. Who is also a related party to A Limited. Full stop. Full stop. However, if Jane is not capable of influencing Isaiah's dealings, with the other entities, is not capable of influencing Isaiah's dealings with other entities, then she is not considered to be a related party. Is not considered to be a related party. Full stop. So that one we have answered. Tunasonga mbele. We are moving forward. So I want you to write for me a subtopic in form of a question mark. I want you to write for me a subtopic in form of a question mark. What are related party transactions? What are related party transactions? So right there and say, a related party transaction is the transfer. A related party transaction is the transfer of resources. The transfer of resources or obligations. Resources or obligations between related parties. Obligations between related parties, regardless of whether a price has been charged. Regardless of whether a price has been charged. Regardless of whether a price has been charged. I repeat, I said, a related party transaction is the transfer of resources or obligations between related parties, regardless of whether a price has been charged. Full stop. Full stop. Disclosure requirements. Disclosure requirements. Disclosure requirements. So what should the company disclose to us? Actually, they should. Every company except now must disclose in their audited financial statements the existence of related parties. Even if it was not there, you should disclose. You should disclose that there were no existence of related parties during the financial period under consideration, or there were related parties and these were the transactions or whichever. So those transactions which occurred during the financial period between those whom you consider to be related parties, please make sure you disclose them. Very, very important. Very. Remember, a director is a related party to that entity. So if that director, imagine director of a company, yeye ana supply yeye ana supply stationaries, ana supply mpaka milk kwa ofisi. Na yeye akisupply leo, check yake inasainiwa afternoon. Haikai. Lakini external suppliers wakisupply leo, wanaweza fikiria kama wanaweza lipwa next year. Hawana haraka. Mpaka sasa hivi nimeona government through treasury appoint committee, mpaka it has been gazetted, committee to check pending bills, the bills which have not been paid by the government entities. But to those who are the directors, wao yao is pending. Those things must be disclosed because it's not the best practice in an entity. So disclosure requirements, the examiner is likely to ask you, Roman 1, which you need to disclose to us, the relationship between the entities, e.g., for example, parent, subsidiary. So you just tell us what made them to be related parties. This was the parent, this was the subsidiary, related parties. Close family member, that is, so all those things which we have been seeing there, key management personnel, those are now the relationship. How do they connect? What is making you to disclose? So the relationship you must tell us. Number 2, management composition. Then hyphen in front of it, you say an entity should disclose the key management personnel. An entity should disclose the key management personnel. Showing full colon Roman 1, short-term employee benefits, Roman 2, post-employment benefits, Number next, other long-term benefits, termination benefits, and finally, share-based payments, benefits, full stop. Share-based payment benefits. So these are to be highlighted under number 2. They can also be asked the information an entity should disclose about their management composition in regards to related party disclosures, IS number 24. So those are what you need to tell us about the management which we have. And finally, number 3, related party transactions. Related party transactions. Remember, number 1, you're supposed to tell us the relationship. Maybe to who is the director, that is 1. What was the composition in that company? And in that composition, tell us how they were remunerated and all that, because they can exaggerate, you remember. Then number 3, tell us the transactions which transpired. So related party transactions, small hyphen, then you say, an entity should disclose all its transactions. With related parties. All the transactions with the related parties. In each case, highlighting in each case highlighting full colon Roman 1, full colon Roman 1, the amount of transactions, Roman 2, amount of outstanding balances, and finally, any expense incurred as a result of the transactions. Any expense incurred as a result of transactions with related parties. Any expense incurred as a result of transactions with related parties. Full stop. Now, nowadays, we normally do IAS, IFRS, and there is IPSAS. IPSAS, I told you, are those standards in public sector entities. So, to some extent, you find most of them are the same. The IAS are just the same with IPSAS, but sometimes they tend to differ. Kidogo tu sifana. So, this standard here, this is IAS number 24. This is IAS number 24 on related parties. When you go to the public sector, they apply IPSAS number 20. So they are similar almost in all aspects, except in some small. Ebu check for me, May 2019, just open your paper, kidogo to pumzike nayo. Check for me, May 2019, question 1B, I think B for dog. Mtu amepata niambie ni which page? May 2019. Question 1D. D for dog. I'm already there. But my paper is not in line with yours, so however, I can see Vera, page 74. So check page 74. Page 74. Also write it as a reference down there. You say May 2019, question 1D. May 2019, question 1D. May 2019, question 1D. So maybe I can read. I hope everyone is there. Let me just check kidogo kitu hapa. Yes, so I read, it says, with reference to the International Public Sector Accounting Standards, that is IPSAS number 20, related party disclosures, briefly explain the related party relationships and how related party disclosures under IPSAS 20 differs from those of commercial sector entities under International Accounting Standards IAS number 24. So, briefly explain the related party relationships. That one has no big issue. What I want you first of all to write for me, comparison. Comparison between IPSAS 20 and IAS 24. Comparison between IPSAS 20 and IAS 24. So number one, you say Ipsos 20 defines Ipsos, that's number one. Ipsos 20 defines the relationship between related parties. Ipsos 20 defines the relationship between related parties into details. Into details. Full stop, continuation. This is only provided for. This is only provided for. This is only provided for as a disclosure. Provided for as a disclosure under IAS 24. Provided for as a disclosure under IAS 24. Number two, Ipsos 20 includes the definition Ipsos 20 includes the definition of remuneration. The definition of remuneration of key management personnel includes the definition of remuneration. Definition of remuneration of key management personnel. Of key management personnel. Unaona kwa Ipsos unajua public sector through job groups. Ukiwa job group this is how much range you're supposed to get. So there is that definition. Full stop. This is only disclosed under IAS 24. This is only disclosed under IAS. Kwa hivyo unatuambia tu ulilipa hivi. Nobody will say kwa nini umelipa hivi na inafaa ikuwe hivi. In commercial entities hakuna. Mtu analipwa venye anajisikia. Unapata general manager analipwa 80,000, then mtu wa sales representative analipwa 150. Wanasema they are the trade. Unajua in commerce, mnakumbuka how we used to define commerce, that commerce is the trade and aid to trade. So they normally say watu wa sales au ndio trade. Wao watu wengine kama accountants au ni aid to trade. Wao wanasukuma gurudumu. So nobody will question, hata kama unalipwa mingi kidogo, depends the rapport you have with the management. Number three, Ipsos 20 excludes. Ipsos 20 excludes the definition of close family members. Excludes. Huko hakuna family. Ipsos 20 excludes the definition of close family members. Excludes the definition of close family members. Full stop, continuation. This is defined under IAS 24. This is defined under IAS 24. IAS 24. Niliwaambia, close family member is your spouse, your children, and the children of your spouse. Those are the close family members. It is defined in IAS 24 very well. Your spouse, your children, so your children with the spouse or not with the spouse. Na spouse pia anaweza kuwa na children. So it is your spouse, your children, and the children of your spouse. Those three are defined to be the close family members. And finally, the last one, Ipsos 20 uses different terminologies. Ipsos 20 uses different terminologies in certain instances. Different terminologies in certain instances. In certain instances, such as the use of the term entity. Such as the use of the term entity. Use of the term entity. Full stop. The equivalent term under IAS 24, the equivalent term under IAS 24 is enterprises. Full stop. Full stop. Good. Now, by this one, related parties is one of the critical areas of concern. So there are some things I want us to write off the notes in the one structure, but nataka mwandike because the last question we are solving inaweza kuwa na some terminology which we have not mentioned and which we consider to be very crucial. So I want to share with you something here on the screen. Then I'll guide you on what to write on it. Then we check our last question before we wind up that topic. So, let me screen share this one here. So I hope, I hope you can see what I'm sharing in the screen. Yes, you can see what I'm sharing. So that is there is that legal notice numbers, I don't know what, of 2023, the income tax. You know, this issue of related parties is a concern even to the government. So there are some small terms, you don't bother about the document. In that document, which I've shared, there is that number 2 interpretation. There are some interpretations I want you to write for me. I've said those are unstructured notes. I want you to define for me what we call arm's length price. This one here, I hope you are seeing. So right there, go to tumemaliza, the write-ups tumemaliza kila kitu, but write for me some, down there, some terminologies. Andika terminologies. So terminology number 1 is this one here, arm's length price. Arm's length price, you say, means the price payable, in a transaction, between independent enterprises. The next one, don't bring the word commodities, skip that one. Go to comparable transactions. So comparable transactions, you write there, it means transactions between which there are no material differences. Or in which, andika hiyo yote venye iko hapo. After that, write for me this one. This one should be the last one. Controlled price, andika hivyo, controlled price stroke transactions. Controlled price stroke transactions then you indicate your word, means any transaction between related enterprises. Yes. Means any transaction between related enterprises. Correct. So it means I start to andike again. Uncontrolled will be the opposite. Is the transaction between enterprises which are not related. So there is no need of writing that. That is the only thing I wanted to extract from there. It's still a concern, and we are trying to be up to date with what is happening. So allow me to share in your group a certain question. Where's your group? Yes, I've shared. So allow me to stop screen share. But go now to the handout. Read that question. I'm giving you 3-4 minutes break. And during the break, I want you to read that question and assume with what we have covered. Ukipata hiyo swali kwa mtihani, will you be able to answer? Ama utasema hiyo si swali peke yake itafanya watu wapite hii mtihani. Check that question which I've shared. As I give you a small break to take hot water or whichever water, then we proceed. Meanwhile, go through that question. So during that break, people read that question, and now I wish to join you. Iko happy? Where's this question? It is here. But let's read. It says, Tourist Paradise Limited, TPL, is a company quoted on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Its managing directors, Mr. Tamiba, owns 52% of the share capital of the company. Mr. Tamiba is a director in TPL, owning 52% of related parties. He has control. Control starts from 51. So Tamiba is a related party to TPL because he has more than, okay, not more than, shares is related. So he's a related party. Mr. Tamiba is a director of Tourist Travel Limited, TTL. So, okay, that's another company. An 80% subsidiary of Tourist Paradise Limited. So, TTL is related to TPL. Those two, TTL and TPL, are related parties. Not because Mr. Tamiba is a director in both, but because they have said is an 80% subsidiary. So TTL is an 80% subsidiary of TPL. So I wanted to make this analysis as we move. These names can even confuse you. So what? There is TPL, there is TTL. Those are the two entities we have come across. They are related parties, not because Mr. Tamiba is a director in common, but because they are group members, because they have said 80%. So we proceed. So an 80% subsidiary of TPL of Mombasa Deep Sea Fishing Limited, MDFL. They have said of Mombasa. So of Mombasa means that it is an entity which belongs to MDFL. So MDFL is a related party to TTL because they have said it's an 80% subsidiary of MDFL. So TTL and MDFL are related parties. And since this is a subsidiary of this, all of them are related parties. All of them, they are group members. So MDFL, a 40% associate of Tourist Paradise Limited. Tourist Paradise is your TPL. So MDFL is an associate of this. So they are related parties. So all the three are related parties so far. We continue. And of. So it's an associate of TPL and of Mombasa Hotel Supplies Limited, MHSL. When they say of, it means it belongs to that entity. So MDFL is also a related party to MHSL. So all of them, the relationship is continuing. This one is of that one. That one is of that one. So they're related. TPL owns and runs 6 tourist hotels along the coast, both north and south of Mombasa. TTL, MDFL markets a wide variety of fish products. Parts of its output, I think it was supposed to be parts of its output is exported, and the rest is sold to a large number of hotels and restaurants, both in the coastal region and inland. MHSL supplies many hotels in the coast region with an assortment of different products. Mr. Tamiba owns 40% of the share capital of MHSL. Yonesawa is also a director there. His wife owns 20%, no problem. The owners of 4 other hotels in the coastal region each owns 10% of the ordinary share capital. In addition to being a director of these companies, Mr. Tamiba is a director of Bamburi Cement Limited, BCL, from which company all the other companies named above buy cement at a normal market price. All 5 companies prepare their annual financial finding. So there is another company here, BCL. BCL is not a related party from what we have seen. Is not a related party to any of these. These 4 are related because TPL and TTL are group members, TTL and MBFL, they have shared. From what we saw here of the 4, the first 4 are related parties. They are members of the same group. But BCL, the only thing connecting BCL and these other entities is that Mr. Tamiba is a director. So Mr. Tamiba is a director in BCL, and also when you read all this, Mr. Tamiba is a director in all. He's having, I don't know, shares and even the wife. So, and Tamiba being a director here and these other companies, from what we know, that does not qualify them to be related. Entities are not related because they share director in common. So BCL, any transaction which any of these 4 entities carries out with BCL should not be disclosed. If you disclose, it's for your own beautification, but it's not a must. When you are not a related party, like right now, Eliza, you go and buy something in Naivas. They don't have to disclose that because you're not a related party, you are just a third party customer. So there is no disclosure required. But if you transact with an entity in which you have shares, then that one should be disclosed. It should be disclosed. And the shareholding, we said, must start from 20%. Ukiwa na shares Safaricom, like 1%, hata Safaricom ukiwa na shareholding 1%, you are a serious person. Ukiwa na 1% shareholding in Safaricom, that one should not be disclosed. This is not material. There is no disclosure which is required. But if it is 20% and above, 20% there is significant influence, 50% there is joint control, over 50, kuendelea huko mbele, there is control, must be disclosed. So the point I'm bringing home, there are transactions ahead there which we are going to read. Any transaction between any of these companies with themselves, these 4, what it transacts, if MHSL transact with TPL, must be disclosed. Lazima uambie users of financial statements for clarity purposes. But if any of these 4 transact with BCL, you don't disclose because they are not related. What brought them close was Tamiba being a director in common. But entities are not related simply because they have a director in common. So there are these transactions down here: purchaser, seller, amount, basis of price charged, then outstanding. So those are the outstanding balances. So like the first one, the company purchasing was TPL, purchasing from TTL, the amount was 38. Basis of price, there was comparable and controlled price. And controlled price really a market. Nobody controls that price. Amount was 4 million. So all that goes down there. Required A, define the term related party and related party transactions as laid down in IS number 24, related party disclosures. Those ones we have in the notes. We defined the meaning of related party and also related party transactions. Check your notes. B, IS 24 deals only with certain related party relationships. States the 5 related party relationships dealt with. So I don't know whether we highlighted them, but related party relationships is now the parent, subsidiary, close family members, key management personnel, parent joint venture, parent associates. Those are the 5, mostly. Parent subsidiary, what can you do the parent kwanza? Parent subsidiary, parent associate, parent joint venture, key management personnel, then close family members. Those are the 5 relationships we are talking about. I think my interest is on part C. That's where my interest is. Disclose the information required by IS 24 in the consolidated financial statements, of TPL and in the individual financial statements of TTL, MDFL, and MHSL. Ukiangalia kitu kwa mtihani unaweza shtuka ufikirie ni ngumu. It is easy. I will even do like 2. You will hata mnaweza jibu without any problem, and you will confirm to me. So we are required to give disclosures. We are required to provide disclosures. So write for me here, disclosures. Disclosures. So for the disclosures, you can write for me here. Entity. There is no standardized or structured way of answering it. You can do it whichever way, but for uniformity, let's adopt this one here. So you can say here entity. You can write here related party. Related party. Then you will tell me the type of transaction. Type of transaction. Then you will tell me the amount involved. Then you will tell me the pricing policy. Finally, outstanding balances. Yes. So you can have it that way. Just in case of visibility, here you give us the entity, related party, type of transaction, the amount, pricing policy, then outstanding balances. So maybe you will ask yourself, you can be guided with those, you can be guided with the arrangement they have in the question. Unaona hapo kuna purchaser, related party. You can even start with amount. People when you wamepanga hapa, the amount, basis of the price, then outstanding. But now, yes, it's important. So you can even arrange it the way the questioners, the transactions have been laid down there. So they want us to disclose in the books, check C again. In the books of TPL, TTL, MDFL, and MHSL. Those four. So let's start with the first one. TPL. That's the first entity. TPL. So TPL, check which entities TPL transacted with, either selling or buying. But so for me to check we're on the same page, can you highlight for me the entities you are seeing? TPL from the transaction up there before that schedule before required. which entities did TPL transact with? List all of them, which you can see, either purchaser, seller, whichever way. TPL, they transacted with I'm waiting. Let's just to confirm to me our togetherness here. TPL transacted with Vera. Joy, I think, has given almost all of them. TTL, correct. MDFL, correct. MHSL, correct. And even BCL, yes. Yeah, so Hilda, yes, true. So they transacted with 1, 2, 3, 4. But of those 4, check the ones highlighted down there by Hilda and Joy and the rest. They transacted with TTL. TPL transacted with TTL. They transacted with MDFL, MHSL, and BCL. But now we don't have any obligation to disclose the transaction between TPL and BCL. BCL was not a related party. So to those whom you are not related to, you don't have any obligation to disclose. You only disclose for those people you are related to, because hapo ndio watu wanakuwa na kelele, oh, they did this because wanajuana. But the people you are not related to, there is no problem. So I agree with what you have said, all the 4, but for the disclosure, I'm only going for those first 3, TTL, MDFL, and MHSL. BCL is out. So write for me here, TTL, they transacted with TTL, they transacted with MDFL, they also transacted with MHSL. These ones were related, these 4 companies were related parties because they were group members, 40% of. Immediately they use the word of, the relationship is there. So those 4 we have to disclose. So we check what was the type of transactions, the type of transactions. So with the TTL, it was, who was selling? TTL is the one selling to TPL. So purchase, this is purchase. Purchase of goods. So there, TPL is the one purchasing. They purchased goods from that company. With MDFL, the same. Purchase of goods. It was also purchase of goods. With MHSL, the same. Purchase of goods. Also purchase of goods. All were purchases. There was no sale. The amount in question was 38 million. So shillings 38 million, shillings 32 million, shillings 49 million. Then basis of price uncontrolled. This is uncontrolled price. So the price uncontrolled means unaweza wenyewe unajisikia. They sold to them at cost plus 100%. So this is cost plus 100%. Other consumers is none of our business. You check how they did it. Then this other one, comparable and controlled price. So this is uncontrolled plus 10%. Uncontrolled plus 10%. You're just disclosing to the users. Then prices which were outstanding. So hapo space yangu doesn't allow kuwe pamoja. So outstanding means ni wao wajalipa because they were the purchasers. They were the purchasers. So you will write this way. You say 4 million, the first one, shillings 4 million due. Due, shillings 4 million due to TTL. 4 million due to TTL. Because outstanding means one or they purchased but they did not pay. So you say due to. So 4 million due to TTL. Due to TTL. Then the other one, shillings 3 million due to MDFL. Shillings 3 million due to MDFL. Then let's go to the last one. That is 5 million. So 5 million due to. All of them are due to. So due to MHSL. Due to MHSL. So that disclosure is done. So in the books of TPL, those were the disclosures which you are supposed to make. Let's go to the next one. The next one, they want TTL. TTL. Which companies are we supposed to disclose for TTL? They transacted with which entities? Check, check, check. Then we disclose. TPL only, yes. So they only transacted with TPL, this one. So it's just the opposite. In which case they were selling. So it was sale of goods. The sale of goods. And the price was this one here, 38 million. 38 million. Price was uncontrolled. So uncontrolled. Uncontrolled price is the price which you charge at your wish. Then the amount now is 4 million. The same 4 million due from, because they were the sellers. So you talk of due from TPL. If you are the seller, then it is due from. The purchaser is due to. So due from TPL. Then that disclosure is sufficient. It's becoming easy. Let's go to the next. They want us to disclose in the books of MDFL. MDFL. There is a mistake. I know when you type hiyo swali ya kufanya vizuri. Check the transaction schedule before required. The second last on the side of purchaser. Second last on the side of purchaser, aliandika MDFD. That was a mistake. It's supposed to be MDFL, not MDFD. So it was an error there. It's supposed to be MDFL, not MDFD. With that, tell me the entities with MDFL transacted with so that we can give a disclosure very fast. Joy, TPL, MDFL, ya huko juu kuna TPL na kuna MHSL. Yes, there was also BCL, but BCL now is not a related party to any. We don't disclose. So there are only those two, TPL. So there is TPL and there is MHSL. Only those two. So check TPL. TPL is the second from top. What happened? The purchase or sale of goods. This is, what do we bring here? Sale or purchases? Someone? The type of transaction, what do we, yeah, it is a sale. So sale of goods, with MHSL, these things are confusing. MHSL also it is sale, the same. It's also sale of goods. Price 32 million, with MHSL 66 million. So for 32 was 100% cost plus 100%. For this one is uncontrolled plus 10%. Uncontrolled plus 10%. Plus 10%. Outstanding is 3 million. So they sold. So 3 million due from TPL. 3 million due. So due from TPL. Then this other one is 6 million. 6 million due from MHSL. Due from MHSL. We are on the last one. Time is also not with us, but we're on the last one. The last one, they want us to disclose for MHSL. MHSL. Can you tell me the ones we're supposed to disclose? Haraka tumalize hiyo kitu. MHSL, somebody? MHSL, Joy, TPL, MHSL. Yeah, TPL, I can see TPL and MDFL. MHSL. MDFL, yes, we are MDFL. Those two, there are only those two. So with the TPL, MHSL, with the TPL, this was sale of goods. With MDFL, it was purchases of goods. So I think the prices, you don't have any issue. This one stated very well. Amounts, company sale due from. If purchases, due to. So it will be due to MDFL. This one will be due from TPL. So finish for me that. That one you can finish for me. Then, kindly, as you finish that, I'm giving you assignment. The topic is over. Musi log out, give me like maximum 3 minutes, no matter what I want to say. There is illustration in pilot paper. Please, I just want us to check it very quickly. If it's something you can solve, it becomes your assignment. Pilot paper, December 2021, question 3C. I just want us to have a look very fast, 1 minute. Question 3C of December 2021. Whoever gets the page, please tusaidia nayo haraka. December 2021. You know, my pages are not like yours. I'm already there. But now my page, yenye nafai kwe page. Joy amesema page 31. So can you people be on that page 31? This one you can leave mtajaza baadaye. So if you check without even reading, when you check that question keenly, It's almost more or less the same with what we are doing here. Sorry, page 39. Page 39. Page 39, pilot paper, question 3. Jacinta, question 3C. So write it as assignment. Pilot paper, December 2021. December 2021, question 3C. Pilot. You know that December we have two questions, two papers. There is the real sitting and the pilot. So you go for pilot. Page 39. Page 39. So that one you can answer. You can, even if you cannot answer the other of them, you can try. So at your free time, you do that. Now, tomorrow we will have a class. We have a class tomorrow. I always get that using daily, so I must sacrifice, you must also sacrifice. And because of charge, we always prefer to start also very early. So tomorrow again, let's meet at 6:15. 6:15 a.m. up to 8:45 a.m. there. We shall be doing IS number 30, accounting for banking institutions. So tutapatana kwa banking. In fact, muniandikie ndio nikumbuke topic IS 30 banking. So tomorrow, patane hapo kwa banking. God willing, if we can finish it, better for us. So today, people are not late, but try to at least by 6:15. Patane 8:45. You're watching your end at church. Otherwise, thank you for your time. Have a nice weekend. We meet tomorrow in the morning. Thank you.